Hello, everybody. Today, I'd like to tell you about my journey to becoming a mother. So, when I was 24 years old, I had what's called a partial Miller pregnancy. I went to a doctor's exam and was told that there was no heartbeat, which is the most devastating words you can hear as an expecting parent. When I got pregnant with my son, it was 10 years later, and his father knew that I was pregnant. And I didn't want to go through what I had already experienced. So I refused to go and get an ultrasound or be tested at the hospital. So we went to the hospital. I finally acquiesced and expecting to receive similar news and just prepared to get a D&C and have to remove my unborn child. At that point, we saw a flicker on the ultrasound screen, and it was the greatest feeling I've ever had in my entire life. Now, the baby was too young to hear a heartbeat, but we could visibly see it. So throughout my pregnancy, my son's father and I had some ups and downs, but every time I got to go see his little face was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I actually wanted a girl, and so I had decided I was going to name my now son Giuseppe Michael Azariel Star, and I was going to call her Azzy Star, and she was going to be my little princess. When we went to go get the ultrasound, they did a 3D ultrasound. And if you look right behind me, you can actually see that ultrasound. He's actually smiling like this. And I found it so cute because it was like he was mocking me. First of all, he wouldn't even show his full face. He only showed his bum. And we finally, after coaxing him to turn around, got to see his little tiny face. And he was mocking us because he's a boy. And the greatest joy of my life. So I ended up driving myself to the hospital because I was so fearful that I was going to miscarry that I went to the hospital at every little turn. And my son's father was told by the doctor to not keep bringing me back because they were concerned about possibly infection or anything happening to the baby. So when I did go into labor, he didn't believe I was in labor. So I drove myself the 45 minutes stick shift to the hospital from the country outside of Austin and went up there. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, his father showed up with the most ridiculous, pathetic look on his face. He felt so bad because he didn't believe me. I had left at midnight, and since I wasn't home in the morning, he knew that I was having the baby. Thank goodness I didn't have the baby overnight, or he would have missed his child's birth. And right before my final push, I had this moment, this awareness come over me where I spoke beautiful blessings and life over my child and promised him everything in the world. I promised to be a better mother, a better person. I promised to be somebody who I didn't even know at that time. And I've strived diligently to become that person for him. I also like to tell my son that the first thing they did was hand him to me and that he took a nice poop on my chest. And he thinks that's the funniest thing that ever happened and likes to tell people that he pooped on his mom. So 10 years of waiting and believing in the miracle. And I finally got to hold my little boy and have someone love me like I've never been loved in my entire life. And it is right now the greatest accomplishment of my entire life. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.